Hi, I'm here with Kelsey Dubois. She's a senior mechanical engineer at Amazon Robotics, and I'm here to interview her about her job. So tell me a little bit about your current job.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm a senior mechanical engineer at Amazon Robotics. So what that means is that my team is basically in charge of building all of the hardware surrounding the robotics software development processes. So we do things like build end effectors for the robots, any arms that we might need for the robot, and then any auxiliary components, like the fencing that you can see behind us, or just like columns that hold things up.
And what was your path to get to this job? Like previous jobs or like education?
Yeah, so I received my undergraduate and graduate education at University of Michigan. I actually majored in naval architecture and marine engineering, so I took kind of a roundabout path to get here. I did not do any robotics in college. When I graduated, I did get a naval architect job, but found that I was very far removed from the actual things that I was building, as you might imagine. We were doing lots of things that wouldn't be built for like a couple years, sometimes decades. So when I started looking for a new job, I wanted something more concrete, and I switched to mechanical engineering roles. My first job in that space was at a geophysical sensing equipment company. So we built chassis around sensor technology, specifically to be used in the geophysics space. So that was usually used by the government or oil and gas industry. My main projects there was metal detector. So I built a lot of things that could not have any metal in them. So lots of fiberglass and like nylon bolts and things like that. From there, I got a job at a robotics startup. So that was really my first foray into that. I actually did electromechanical engineering there. So I designed all the cabling for our robotic system and also any of the electronics housings that we needed. And then from that startup job, I came here to Amazon Robotics. And I am currently working with the Vulcan team, but I came from Scout, which was a autonomous robotic delivery vehicle. So that was a public project, so there are videos, but it was basically like this cute little blue robot that would roll along the sidewalk and carry your packages to your house.
And could you tell me a bit about like your day-to-day in your current job?
Yeah, so day-to-day changes a lot, mostly based on the phase of the project that we're in. So if we're in the early phase of a design, where we're doing lots of brainstorming and sort of just trying to figure out what the product is going to look like, this will sometimes look like meeting with the systems team, the systems engineering team, and different cross-functional teams, so the software team, the electrical team, and trying to figure out like what our requirements and things are. And from there, we'll usually go into like a brainstorming phase. So that is a lot of focused time where we just kind of like come up with concepts, and it sometimes looks like more formal brainstorming sessions with large members of our hardware team. So those are kind of like the special times, I think. They're kind of the fun times. And if we're in a design heavy phase, we will be doing a lot of heads down time just at CAD. So we'll be doing 3D modeling, lots of analysis, and then like documenting our processes and our design processes. We'll also be meeting with different cross-functional teams to share what our designs look like and get feedback from them. And then once we kind of exit the design phase and we go into more of like a building and documenting phase, that will look like making 2D drawings and putting things into our product lifecycle management system. We call that PLM. That's pretty common to have those for larger companies like Amazon. For smaller companies, you might not have that. So it kind of changes day to day.
Yeah. What do you say is your favorite phase?
My favorite phase, I like the brainstorming phase and the design CADing phase. So kind of like sitting down and actually coming up with the designs and like looking at different areas of the project. I also really like the brainstorming phase when we are early in design and talking to other teams within your product, and just trying to figure out what the project will look like.
And if you had to say, what would be your least favorite phase?
My least favorite, maybe the documenting phase where we're doing more like drawings and putting things in PLM. It's pretty tedious, and I wouldn't say it's like engineering heavy. It's just it's just something we have to do.
Yeah. And what would you say is like your entire job? What's your favorite part about it?
I really like talking to other teams and like figuring out what that product is going to look like. So this is just me personally, what I like. It's really fun for me to like get a sense of what the challenges that other teams are facing and how we as a hardware team can help them. What hardware items that we can put into our system to make things easier for the rest of the team.
And kind of like in this field of job, what does like a typical entry-level position look like?
It would look pretty much the same. I think one thing that's cool about, at least in hardware engineering, I don't know about other types of engineering, but your job kind of has the same day-to-day, but you take on, as you get higher, you take on different responsibilities. So while I'm a senior mechanical engineer, I might look at a whole subsystem. If you're an entry level, you might be looking at one component. So, you know, if I'm looking at like an entire subsystem, I might have a few entry level people working with me that are focusing on the components that make up that subsystem.
Huh. And what skills are really useful, or like what would you look for in a new hire?
It depends a lot on what level we're looking for. For entry level, especially just coming out of school, what I'm really looking for is somebody who can apply what they've learned in school and first principles to a real environment. So I'm looking for somebody that has a good grasp of those, like physics fundamentals and just some of the basics that you learn in your like intro and advanced classes in school, and looking to see if they can actually apply those to the real world.
And are there any like experiences or like having worked on projects that you look for?
Yeah, I think you can gain that experience in a couple ways. The first one is internships. It's really hard to get your first internship, but if you're looking for if we're looking for a full-time hire, I do want to see some internship experience on the resume. I think that is really powerful. And if you are looking for your first internship or you don't have any internship experience, joining a student team can be a really great way to get that same experience. So at my school, we had a solar car team, we had a concrete commute team, we had an autonomous surface water vehicle team, and I know there's like all kinds. So those are really great ways to apply what you're learning in school to a real world environment.
Did you do any of those teams?
I did not. I joined a couple, but I was on a sports team, and so that took up a lot of my time.
Right. And like in college, is there like anything you like wish you'd done differently?
I wish I would have joined a student team.
Okay.
I think that's a really big one. It just looked like it was a lot of fun, and I think I would have met more people in different disciplines while I was going to school, and been able to apply things a little bit easier during my first internships. I also think this is not necessarily related to engineering, but obviously being a woman in a male-dominated field, it can be a little tough to just like feel like you belong. And so looking back, I do wish I would have joined a sorority or something like that, or been more active in like our Society of Women Engineers or something, just to meet more people.
And is there like something in college that you like really love doing and you think other people should?
Yeah, I mean, I think my my major was great in that we had a couple of when we were seniors, we had these design projects, and so even though I didn't do a student team, these design projects like really allowed you to apply what you had learned in the past 3 years of school in more of a real world environment. It wasn't exactly the same, but instead of like learning the principles, you were actually applying it to make a design. And so I think finding classes where you're doing more projects like that is really great as well. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things that I did do in school that I really liked. Yeah, I think being in school, like being an engineer, you can get really focused in your STEM classes and your core classes, but it's great to step outside of that a little bit and take classes in something else that you're interested in as well.
Huh? And how do you find yourself getting interested in this field, like earlier on in your life?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have any like engineers in my family really, so I know that's an entry point for a lot of people. I took a couple classes in high school, physics and calc specifically, that I had a really great aptitude for. I had always been good at math and better at science than I was at a lot of other things, so I just naturally gravitated towards that. And then in high school, I had a couple teachers that were like, maybe you should consider engineering. Like, you actually are really good at physics. Like, you should consider it. And so that was great to have some teachers that like recognize that and put the seed in my head, and then I started looking into it.
Did you do like clubs or anything in high school?
I went to a really small school, so we didn't really have
okay.
anything. Like, I know you do first robotics, which is great, but we didn't have any classes like that or any teams like that. So I wish we did. I would have done it. Yeah.
Yeah. And coming out of college, you said you got a job in like nautical engineering.
Naval architecture.
How did you like get into getting a first job? Like, what was that process like for you?
Yeah, so my program is really great at placing us in internships.
Okay.
And I think that is one of the things that I really liked about my program, is that it was fairly small, and so we got a lot of individual attention. And so one of the things they prided themselves on was placing each of their students in internships. So I had an internship between my junior and senior years, and then also between my senior year and my year of grad school. And so when I went to look for a job, I already had those job experiences. And then, just like reached out to different companies. I did ask some professors and we had like a counselor, I guess. And so reached out to them because if companies were looking for students or entry level, they would reach out to the department. And so there were job openings.
And like in your first job, is there any like things you did to like help yourself learn faster, like skills you wish you had that could have helped you done a lot better?
Could have helped me.
Yeah.
Thinking back, that was a long time ago. I think honestly, just like learning how to be in an office is really important. Learning if you like being in an office is huge. So the internships really help with that, right? Gives you a sense of like, if I have to be in an office every day, this is what it's going to be like. And I think that was something that was really helpful for me when I got my first job. But I wish I would have known or would have helped me learn faster. I think just seeking out the advice of senior engineers earlier, and not waiting for people to come to me. Going up to people and saying like, I'm interested in what your team is doing. Like, do you have time to like grab a coffee and explain to me what that is? And just like reaching out and forging those connections can be really powerful. I find that everywhere I've been, everyone is really proud of what they're doing and they want to share it.
Yeah.
So people will look really busy and it seems like they don't have time, but if you reach out and try to make those connections, they will be happy to help you and sit down and talk to you about it.
All right. And do you have any like parting advice for someone pursuing a career in STEM?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, join those student teams. If you have opportunities in high school, like take them. Get internships can be helpful, and yeah, reach out to people. If you are interested in a company or a product that you see, try to find a contact and reach out and just ask if you can talk to them. Especially if you're in high school or college, people will be really willing to talk to you.
All right.
Share what they're doing.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.